one thing that comes up in the book is obviously the admin of getting the transition done, especially on medical aid. In your case is the first known successful case, which is very disappointing, right? And obviously we live in a very fucked up world, but why do you think we're still, like, it's still, that we're still doing the first known cases now? It sounds absurd.
It's the bureaucracy that comes with medical aids. Look at the time when I started my journey, I was working for Discovery Health. And they wouldn't even give me an audience. My doctors were willing to go and speak to them. Look, when I started this journey, I had a frank chat with my surgeon, and he told me what the ballpark figures of these surgeries, what they were going to cost. And it was, atrocious. And I was like, but I work for I'm being employed in this country. 99% of these companies have, as part of the employment conditions, that you have to belong to a specific medical aid of their choice. So I didn't have a choice. I had to belong to their scheme, right? And they wouldn't even give me an audience. They wouldn't respond to my emails. I went onto our system. I looked at, they couldn't even get the difference between what an intersex person is or a trans. And I was like, this is a lost cause for the biggest scheme in this country. And that's when my ex at the time, we decided, let me move over to her medical aid as a spouse dependent and just pay my portion there and try there. Because Discovery was going to be a nightmare. I knew it because the scheme would decline medical necessities where you realize, this person needs the surgery. So then I went on to her scheme, which is a smaller scheme, and I felt it would probably be easier to get an audience with them as well. And so I started with the motivations, and they declined. And I picked up the phone and I was like, but who declined? Want to speak to this person who was working on this case. I got to speak to this lady, and I asked her, why are you declining my surgeries? Because it's medically unnecessary. Says who? Did you read the motivations from the doctors? I mean, we're talking about letters from an endocrinologist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and you are telling me that it's not medically necessary. And then I eventually got to convince her to chat to Kevin, who was my plastic surgeon. And it just so happened that she knew Kevin on a personal level. And that, again, for me is problematic because had she not known Kevin, they would probably still have said no, So she spoke to Kevin, and then she actually asked Kevin, does he really need these surgeries? And Kevin responded, these are the most important surgeries this person will ever need in their life. And like that, I got that victory. So it's in 2019, medical aids will still tell you that despite the research that's been done, despite the fact that doctors, specialists work with transgender patients, continuously conduct studies, and motivate for their patients to get this care, medical aids will still refuse. So it's the bureaucracy of insurance, health insurance. I mean, we saw the other day they were in the news because they colluded on some insurance. And I was like, there we go. Meanwhile, they're paying 23 million rand a month here in Sandton to rent a space, but they won't pay for trans surgeries. So that's another battle that I'm currently working on, and I'm trying to meander around because I feel we need to get to a point where medical aids are subject to the rule of law in this country. The Constitution is very clear about gender diversity and sexual diversity, and so any entity should be subject to that. Especially if you are a transgender patient, then it means your medical aid will probably never work for you. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they don't even want to pay for hormone replacement therapy or even gynecological procedures for transgender men who haven't had bottom surgery. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of bureaucracy there. There's a lot of work that still needs to get there. Discovery is still, they said that they're doing a pilot now on the two top schemes, two top plans, that they will pilot a study or something. But then again, if you can afford to be on the two top plans at Discovery, then you can afford to pay for your surgeries cash. So anyway, for me, it does nothing for the work that we're looking at doing with organizations like the Legal Resources Center is to actually start working from the bottom up with the smaller schemes, continue motivating and trying to sort of break that thinking that they say these are cosmetic surgeries because they're not.
It sounds like it's still early days of that project, but are you optimistic for this procedure to be something that's available widely to?
In time, yes, I think it's going to happen. In time, I think enough pressure will force medical aids to fold.